Welcome to Radio Sensation. I'm your host, Dan. And in this episode, I am going to be looking at some of IDW's Artisan editions. And what this is IDW is putting out a great series of books called Artist Editions. And what that was artwork. The original artwork for different comics. And they were done really big, oversized, and probably about full size, the original page size for the original art. I'm not sure that every artist actually drew in exactly the same size, so there might have been some fudging going on. But, and they were fantastic. When most of those were coming out, I couldn't really afford them at the time. They were, I think they were like mostly $125, $150 each. And then they'd go out of print and they'd be going for even more. So they started doing these Artisan editions, which are smaller format. Let me grab a comic. They're still oversized. Here's a regular comic. You see there, this is still larger than the average comic. I think these are really good, aside from being able to see where they've applied whiteout, where they've done paste ups, and how they changed the art, and you see blue lines and things like that. There was a series called the Essential, and DC had their version too. I can't think of what theirs was called off the top of my head. But the Essentials are basically the same as a regular issue of a comic. Now, a lot of people liked them because, first off, they were cheap. They had a lot of pages, and they were in black and white. And, it made it an affordable way to get a lot of this stuff. And a lot of people were going like, well, I love the black and white because then I can see the artwork better. Now, I had a bunch of these, not many of the first ones, because my local comic shop had gotten a bunch of them in at a really great price. And so I bought a bunch of them. And then at one point when I needed to downsize really quickly a bunch of stuff, I gave a lot of these to some friends of mine. And I actually only had this one kind of by accident. I mean, I like these. I just as soon see them in color, but then you're paying more, and most of the time the new coloring is not really that great. So whatever. But anyway, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, you get to see the artwork better because it's in this black and white. Well, first off, it's because it's small. It could be bigger. It could be bigger. That's the main thing I would say. It's nice, but it doesn't, you can't look at some of it very well because all this is in that crack because of the way it's printed up. In the margin, rather. So that brings me to these. These are have a $40 list price, and many times you can keep your eye open and you can find them on sale. And so you can get them at a very reasonable price. And like I said, you see the blue line, you see, you can see whiteout and stuff in the original thing. Now this one, when I was a kid in the 60s, Ditko and Kirby were everything to me. And when Ditko was leaving, I was just going that's it. I'm not going to read Spider-Man anymore. But of course, the part of me that was invested in Spider-Man as a character ended up buying it. And I ended up loving John Romita, JR, as we call him, as those of us in the know call him, JR. And this, I guess the issues, I mean, there's kind of a little run of some of the, this is pretty, this one here, this 68, 69, and then the 84, those are most of the one story about the Kingpin. it does kind of seem like it's a little all over the place. Oh, well, 75 too. So there's 4 issues to kind of go together, and then 2 that are kind of out of the blue. But so I think some of the things were picked because they had a lot of the original pages. There's a couple in here where they had to shoot to keep the story going. They've done a black and white shot of the printed page, not the original artwork. So, like I said, I won't go through this too much. I'm not going to go through every page or every story. Just, I don't really like Mysterio. It's too bad that one of the things is Mysterio. They kind of get, sometimes it's hard to draw people being shrunk down and making it look right, making the proportions look right. In this scenario, he kind of gets away with it because he's supposed to be on a tabletop toy, so you're just seeing, it's more like there's a giant Mysterio rather than a shrunk down Spider-Man. And there's a giant knife though. But then here's the Kingpin. This was one I really liked when I was a kid. Here's Aunt May looking like she's 103 years old. I didn't like the way Peter gets to act in this. He's kind of a dick to his fellow campus goers. But, they're trying. Marvel was trying. Stan Lee was trying. JR might have been trying. I'm not sure how much of this he had a... it's hard to tell how something so dialogue heavy, like some of these comics, how it could work with the Marvel method. Because this is just an amazing amount of talking and things being translated, not in, being told to you, not being shown, but being told. But anyway, but he did, look at Gwen. What a beauty. See here, this is not an original page. This is, one of 3 pages not scanned from original art. So it's not trying to hide it or anything. But they do stick out like a sore thumb when you get to them. Isn't that funny how... I think it's because it's scanned, so you have the color of the paper. The blue line that you're not going to see published helps make this look good too. So this looks so much better than just the black and white, which is what you would have seen in those Essentials books. Just terrific stuff. That's not one of my least favorites, that one where Quicksilver's there. I like this one. It has the Man Mountain Marco. It has the Kingpin. But it also, the Lizard, one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, because I like lizard people. And so I thought that was really cool. Really good stuff going on there. So that's the Spider-Man one. Then we get to the Kirby. And I don't need, you're watching this, you know Kirby. Again, there's a little bit of a run of a story and then a couple of random ones. I just really think this stuff looks good. And like I said, part of it is, there's the behind the scenes of the collage. I got to tell you, when I was younger, I hated the collages. First off, there were people doing much better collage work in the regular art world than this. So as far as collages go, Kirby's only, But, he was trying something. And, I've seen some of the stuff printed better. Some of his later ones printed well, and they are really actually pretty good. So he was experimenting. The process they were using to print these comics at the time wasn't that great. It didn't do him any favors. But, yeah, I mean, this just looks tremendous. There is, all these, most comic books, I think, have more dialogue than they need. But, I was a smart kid. I was reading paperback novels at the same time I was reading comics pretty much by this time. So, and I was pretty smart as far as storytelling goes. I didn't need things as spelled out as probably a lot of their readers. Um, Here's some made up monsters there. Made up prehistoric looking monsters. Pretty cool. Big old splash page there in the middle of the. So, yeah, that's fantastic. Great, great page. You think just a close up of the villain's face. That's too much, but it's not. These nice big 4 panels. The crazy thing is that, when Kirby's really hitting full blast and he's doing like 9 panels per page, you go like, this is how all comics should be. When he does 6 panels, that's how comics should be. And when he does 4 or 3, just great. Anyway, just a bunch more pages, random pages that they had. So why not put them in there? And then the final one I'm going to do now. One of the things about this series is they're about to put out the EC cover art. That one is actually still in print. You can still get that for the cover price of $150, and sometimes a little cheaper. I think when I last noticed it on Amazon, it was like maybe $125, $130. So that was not a collector's item yet, but they're going to release that. That one's going to be out soon. But most of these, like I said, now this Steranko. So Steranko didn't really produce that much comic work, but when he was doing it, man, it starts off here with, so Kirby did the layouts for these first couple that Steranko's, and Steranko's doing illustrations, it says. This is incredibly busy. There is so much detail in this. It's very Kirby-esque. Some of these faces and stuff, though, are a little, look like somebody imitating Kirby. Look at all this. Now, this is the kind of minutia we're missing in some of the other ones. But interesting stuff. It's a little strange. It's a little strange when I look at it. Then the next one where Kirby does the layouts. Again, there's a lot of detail, even larger than regular size. I wish I still had my copies of the original. I do not. Most of my comics from the mid-70s back. Most of them are long gone. I don't have them anymore. So I can't look at the originals anymore. I have to track them down again. But I'm trying to remember what it was like to see all this little detail shrunk down. And we're still in the Kirby doing the layouts. See, there's a lot of this stuff where it's kind of like some of these faces are kind of a little off, but some of it's just right. And then this still looks so this Kirby didn't have anything to do with. And some of these figures look very Wally Wood looking. But like that looks like this is pure Kirby there. It's amazing the amount of Kirby in these early ones. And yet, like I said, he didn't do... Let's go a little further back. He starts getting into the... into looking like himself. Stops feeling so much like a Kirby Ralph. You know what this reminds me of is the other Kirby fan, Paul Galassi. Oh, here's a bunch of stuff that was just it's just black and white from the printed page. Anyway, so these are the ones I have of this series. And I will be getting that EC one. And I'll probably get, I think there's a Mike Mignola one coming out. If I can take a look at it beforehand, if I can find it at a good price, I'll probably get that one too. But anyway, that's a look at these. I hope you found that interesting. I hope that if you didn't know whether or not you'd be interested in this, it might have helped you. Please like, subscribe. I'm hearing that hitting the notification bell helps YouTube want to promote you. So if you want to do all or any of those things, and please comment. I've had a couple people who are really left some great comments under some of my stuff, and who have led me to, unfortunately, spend money on things that I spend money that I probably shouldn't have. But I've been pointed towards some really great stuff by some of my viewers. So if you like what I'm doing, if you're interested in what I'm saying here, if it sounds like, oh, I know just what he'd like, I might have it already. That's fine. Well, I'll talk about that in the comments. But I might not have heard of it. And I like to check out stuff. So please let me know. And you have a good one.